Shalom, my dear friend. What a joy to have you here to listen to another story. Let's go back to a time when darkness tried to extinguish our light, but a small spark of courage showed that purity is worth more than strength. This is the story of Chanukah. A long time ago in Jerusalem, our beloved Beit Hamikdash, the great holy temple, was silent. But it was not a silence of peace, it was a silence of sadness. The Greeks had entered there, but they didn't just want our riches. They wanted our soul. Unlike many other ancient empires, the Greeks issued truly terrible decrees. They emphatically declared, forget the sacred Torah, forget the observance of Shabbat, and write on the ox's horn that you absolutely have no part in the God of Israel. They forbade the study of our sacred law under penalty of death. They wanted our bodies to remain alive, but for our Jewish identity to disappear, turning us into Greeks. They wanted to extinguish the spiritual light of Israel. When the brave Maccabees, led by Yehuda and his brothers, finally won the battle and ran to the temple, they stopped at the door, their hearts heavy. The scene was devastating. It wasn't just broken walls or stolen gold. They touched everything. They ruthlessly broke the seals on all the precious jars of pure olive oil. Just imagine, my dear little one, countless rows and rows of pristine, pure oil amphorae, all deliberately opened, then completely overturned. The Greeks, with their malicious intent, wanted to make them utterly tamei, truly impure and unusable. Their message was clear: if you want to light the menorah, you'll have to use our oil our way. The Jewish soldiers, weary from war, began to search. They needed to light the menorah, the golden candelabrum, to show that God's presence had returned. "There's nothing here," shouted a young soldier, wiping dust from his face. "Everything is impure." Logic said to give up. Making truly pure olive oil took 8 full days. You had to carefully pick the olives, meticulously press them, allowing the oil to emerge drop by precious drop, and finally, thoroughly filter the liquid. Let's wait. We can't light the sacred flame just any way. Let's wait 8 days, make new oil, and then we'll light it. But Yehuda and the wisest among them kept searching. They meticulously turned over every single stone, carefully looking in the very darkest and most hidden corners, until a faint glimmer appeared on the ground, deeply hidden beneath the ancient floorboards. Perhaps long forgotten by time, or perhaps divinely protected by a benevolent angel, there, nestled securely, was a small, unassuming clay jar, and on its perfectly preserved lid, still intact and brilliantly shining, was the unmistakable and sacred seal of the high priest. "We found it!" They celebrated, but the joy was short-lived. When they shook the jar, they realized it was almost empty. There was only just enough oil, sufficient for a single solitary night. The dilemma returned. What should they do? If they lit it today, tomorrow the menorah would go out. Wouldn't that be shameful? Human logic said, it's too little. But then, one of the sages looked at the small flame they had in their hearts and said, we don't need much to begin. We only need the truth. They didn't wait to have enough for the future. They took that little bit, which logic said was impossible to last, and put it in the menorah. They lit the wick. The light rose, trembling at first, but then steady and golden. And you know what happened, don't you? That little bit, which logic said was impossible to last, burned that night, and the next night, and the one after that, until 8 days had passed and the new oil was ready. Do you know what this story teaches us? Many times we look at ourselves and truly consider our place, and often reflect and feel, I'm quite too small. I know so little about Torah. I'm not a great sage. My kindness is so little. And then we decide not to do anything. But the miracle of Chanukah teaches us about the purity of intention. If you want to do a mitzvah, a good deed, do it now, even if it seems small. Don't wait for everything to be perfect before you start lighting up the world. True light doesn't depend on the amount of oil, but on the purity with which you light the flame. Have you ever stopped yourself from doing something good because you thought it was too little and wouldn't make a difference? Learning to be good is like lighting a candle. We start with one candle and the light keeps growing. Thank you for your company today. They say that one candle lights another without losing its own light. If this story brought something good to you, please leave a like. It's a simple gesture, but it helps this message light up many other hearts. Shalom, and see you in the next story.